Well, welcome back everybody. Got the car up on the lift and we're going to go ahead and take a tour of the underneath. So again, as we talked about before, got that cross member, and again the cross member now is just holding the lower control arm. So I've got the end all, I have the ends all beefed up, gusseted, but again I don't need anything really in the middle because it's not holding the engine anymore. So tow hook, regular Jaguar face. The headlights are going to probably become the intake and vent the passenger compartment, and then the small little vents will run to the front brakes. So stock suspension. Again, parts are cheap, parts are plentiful, not a big deal. We do run power steering in the car because racing's hard enough without having to wrestle the steering. Trans coolers up front, and then we get behind the wheels and we've got a little power steering cooler because Jaguar. So Jaguar has power steering and a cooler, and then above that for oil cooling we run an RX-7 cooler. I haven't found anything that works better and is more compact. So I know Michimoto makes one, but that's just a stock RX-7 oil cooler. I have that plumbed right into the motor. So all our coolers are sitting up front. I'm pretty much behind the back wheels, and that's where the motor starts. So this car is mid-engine. The reason being is because if I run the stock suspension in the car, or excuse me, if I run the stock configuration in the car, which is front engine, rear drive, I blow up shocks in the front and I end up breaking stuff in the front of the car because the front of the car is so heavy. So to fix that, I moved the car back, moved the engine back probably 28, 32 inches or so. Why did it end up being right here? Mainly because that's where it fits in the car. So I could go a little bit more forward if I wanted, but basically I start running into problems with the firewall and the distributor. So this is kind of where I wanted to be. This is kind of where it is. So 4-liter Jag straight 6 out of a 93 Jaguar I bought for $230. It just got a new head gasket. This is the B motor. The A motor is over on the ground. The B motor needed a new head gasket, so I got a new one of those. Because it's back so far, the drive shaft is really short and it's at an angle of which Judge Phil would say Janko-matic drive shaft angles. It's well within the operating range of the U-joints. I need to get another one made just so I've got a backup. So, the other car we're building, the Econo-Lime, that one we're going to bolt the transmission directly to the rear end. Or again, the slip joint will go right next to the rear end. So again, Mark 8 rear end, all stock axles. I don't know what the springs are. The springs might be front Jag springs that I just made work. I just built spring pockets and nothing too crazy. As far as what's underneath the car, we've got brakes and we've got fuel. I run an external fuel pump, makes it easy to change out. You don't have to get inside the cell. Again, I think it's the Marlboro one. It's pretty cheap. You know, I run a filter before the pump and a filter after the pump. Everything after the fuel system, I just cut the stock Jaguar fuel lines and just ran compression fittings to it. So everything from here up is just stock Jag. The motor itself is actually solid mounted. The 4-liter so smooth that I can solid mount the motor. Doesn't rattle the car. Doesn't seem a big deal. So all stock electronics, as you can see. The evil Lucas is still throughout the car and in many ways. And as we get to the back, that's where I put the fuel cell. So the fuel cell's in the trunk. Again, by putting the motor back so far and the fuel cell in the back and just running this configuration, it allows me to have the car as close to 50-50 as I can get. I still have to rebuild the interior and reweigh it, but I think I'm probably like 47-53 right now. A little bit heavier in the back, which again for a rear-wheel drive car is not a bad thing. So anyhow, as far as the brakes are concerned, again, that's something that I picked up from Baja. My boss used to say, you know, even racing Baja, it's just a bunch of short little drag races, and the same thing when you get on a road course. So it's all about stopping and then re-accelerating. So I'll go ahead and put the tires on. I'll drop the car down and we'll go ahead and look at the top.